琵琶行
The Song of Pipa. On the banks of the Qingyang River, I was saying goodbye to my friend. The maple leaves and the river reeds shivered in the autumn air. I dismounted my horse and my friend was in the boat. We started to drink, but there was no music. The drinking was sad and we soon said goodbye. The pale moon was in the middle of the river. Suddenly, we heard the sound of pipa over the water. I forgot to go and the boat forgot to sail. We looked and asked who the player was. The playing had suddenly stopped. We moved the boat nearer and asked to see the player, extending our invitation 1,000 times before she agreed to come, her face still half hidden behind the instrument. She adjusted the riff and plucked the strings. The song did not form but shuddered with emotion. Every string she plucked and every sound she played seemed to tell her unfulfilled life. She slowly plucked the strings, bending down her head and playing more freely, gradually unfolding what she wanted to relate. Lightly, slowly she played. Then she strummed and plucked. First was the tune of Nishang. After that, Lu Yao. The heavy plucking was like torrents of rain, the light ones like soft whispering. Loud and quiet accompanied each other, like big and small pearls falling on a jade plate. Little streams flew underneath the flowers, sad murmurs down the shoals. The water was cold and the strings rough. Sounds were frozen and couldn't break out, muffled sorrow that could not be voiced. Sound without is better than within. A silver vase had been suddenly broken as water splashed. A war horse galloped out from gunfire. At the end, there was a single plucking. 4 strings of the pipa like cloth suddenly split. All the boats around ours were silent. Only the autumn moon shone on the pale river. She hesitated and put the pick between the strings, stood up, and smoothed the front of her clothing. She said, "I was from the city and used to live beneath Toad's Hill. I learned pipa when I was 13 from the best teacher in the neighborhood. Everyone acknowledged my skill. When I was putting on my makeup, even the beautiful Qingyang was jealous. All the young men desired my company. At the end of one song, I was given such silk. People broke their precious head ornaments to the beat of my playing. My red skirt was stained with red wine." Laughter and songs year after years. The autumn moon and the spring flowers followed each other. My younger brother left with the army and my aunt died. The carriages and horses dwindled down in front of my house. Finally, I became a merchant's wife. He favors profit and didn't mind leaving and left months ago to Fuliang to buy tea. Here I waited in my empty boat, the moon bright and the river cold. In the middle of the night I dreamt of my youth and I cried alone in my dreams. When I heard the music I sighed. Now I listen to her story, I sigh more heavily. It did not matter whether we had known each other before. We had the same fate. Since I was banished from the court last year, I was demoted to Qingyang and had been sick. I presided over the little marshy place called Zhengzhou, where only yellow reed and bitter bamboo grow. What do I hear morning and night? The crying of the cuckoo and the howling of the monkey. On the spring river and autumn moon night, I can only drink to myself. True, there was singing from the village, but it cannot please my ears. Tonight I have heard your pipa, as if heaven has been opened. Please play once more, so I can make it into a poem." She was moved and stood for a long time. Then she started to pluck the strings. The sorrow was more than before. Everyone covered his face. If you ask who had cried the most, the front of the blue robe of the little official of Zhangzhou was drenched.